Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to look at signals and how you can use signals to create different UI, different events that can trigger actions in your game. Let's just start by making a folder and we'll just call this scenes, and in here we're going to create a new scene and we'll just make it be a 2D scene and we'll call it main scene. In here I'm going to first attach a script, and this is where we're going to do all our events for the different signals. For this video I'm just going to do very basic things like printing, depending on the different things obviously. So I'm going to start with a control node, and in the control node I'm going to add buttons. And now our button, we can just add some random text, let's say click, and then if we now here go to signals, you'll see there's a few different signals, and if we click connect, we can now click on the script we want to add it to, and then we're just going to click connect. I'm going to create a method or a function, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to print button click. And now if we run this and we will have to select this as our main scene, we're going to see click me here, and if we look down here we can see the button's been clicked. Now this is the most basic thing you can possibly do. Now if we're going to just quickly explore the button, we can change it to a toggleable button, and this is where we start seeing more complicated buttons. So I'm going to now go to this toggled signal and we'll connect this. So it's now made this toggled one, and here we want to make an if statement, and you'll see that in the function we have this variable called toggled on. So if toggled on, then we want to do something, so we can just pass and then we'll add an else pass. Now this is obviously not very useful because I'm just passing it, but let's say we wanted to change the color. So theme override, add color theme override, font color. So here we can see the different options. So I'm just going to change the font color because that's something we'll be able to see and it's quite simple. And then here we'll go color dark red, for instance, and I'm just going to copy this and we'll change the color. So let's go blue. There we go. Now if we run this, where did it go? Oh, the visibility was toggled off. Now if we click it, we'll first see button click, but also, so unfortunately the text is behaving weirdly. That's because it has a hover effect as well. But you'll notice here that the font color is changing. It's just being quite strange. Now what I usually use this for is if I have a button, for instance, let's say a vibrate button where I have two states. I create a scene where I have a button as its parent, and then the button will act as a toggle where the icon will change. So there I change the sprite that I use, and I use a texture button. Now let's look at some more child nodes that we could add. Collision area. So we're going to add an area2D, and it's going to need a collision shape, and we'll just make this shape. For this I'm just going to use a circle. Actually, maybe a rectangle will be simpler. Okay, and what we're going to do is also add a body. There we can see all the different bodies. We're going to add a rigid body 2D. This is also going to need a collision shape. So if I do that, and this will just be circle, and we'll put it up here. Now we're not going to see anything if I don't add something that we can see. So I'll just add a panel, and this is very much not perfect, but this will get the idea across. And we can take this panel and copy it, put it here. That's what I want to do. There we go. And there we go. It's not a very perfect thing, and the trigger is going to be off a bit, but this will get the idea. In our area2D, we're going to have a signal body area entered. That's a very broad one. So I'm also going to go to body entered, and if we connect this, we'll connect it to our main scene, and we're going to remove this buttons press stuff, and we're simply again going to print ball fell through the goal. Now there we go. As soon as that block fell through, we got this ball fell through the goal. But now there's some things we can do. We can now get this body and we can do things with it. So let's say I want to move the position up again. So position dot y. I'm also going to set the velocity to 0. Sorry, body dot. Okay, there we go. So now I've set the velocity equals to 0, so it's just falling, and then it disappears when it gets to the bottom. This is just a simple idea of what you can do with the body that's getting passed into the method. Now from this, I think you should understand how to do this with any other node. Every node has the basic signals. If we look here, this has canvas item stuff, node stuff, and then object stuff. Most of the time these things aren't going to be used, and you'd rather use the signals that are part of this. Let's say now you want to make a custom signal. I'm not going to go in depth how it works, but you would have a node, and in the node that you have, so this would usually be an instantiated scene. You'd have a script attached to it, and then here you'd add what's called a signal. You'd give it a name, so node ran, and now on ready we're going to go node ran dot emit, and if I now go into the signals if you see here node ran, and we can connect it to our main scene. And if we go back here, we'll see node ran. It will just print ran. This is going to run once at the start. There we go. That's just how that works very simply. And I hope this covered the basics. I didn't want to go in depth too much. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that's that for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.